Hey guys, I just did a segment on TWIA changing their rules regarding insurance premiums for the year, and unless there are specific reasons why you're canceling, they get to retain the entire premium for the year. So I listed out the reasons for how you would get around that. That would be selling the property to an uninterested party. TWIA told you you had to make repairs, changed out a roof, something, or else you wouldn't have coverage. Total loss on the property, or you found similar coverage from, say, a private company that does hail and wind. This is TWIA, Texas windstorm, houses within 50 miles of the coast, all the way the Texas coast. But what I didn't mention, because I didn't want my segment to be too long, is the bill removes from the refund requirement the specification that the refund is less than a minimum retained premium set forth in TWIA's plan of operation and is payable to the insured and the holder of an unpaid balance. So that's one. And then House Bill 3208 requires an insured to provide proof of an applicable cancellation reason. So in the form and manner prescribed by TWIA to be eligible for the refund, and establishes that the insured's premium is considered earned and is not refundable if the insured fails to provide that proof or requests a cancellation for a reason other than the reason. So obviously you're going to write it out and you're going to send it in. You need proof that you sent it in to them, but it has to be, you probably want to go to their website and you want to be very specific on, if they say it has to be written this way, this has to be quoted, you have to give an exact reason. Maybe they ask you on the form who you're selling it to, when's the closing date, those things, because that next person will need to get it. And remember, if you don't have a mortgage, you don't have to have insurance. If you have a mortgage, they're going to require it, but you can just kind of wing it if you want. You don't have to have coverage. There's nobody making you get coverage except potentially a mortgage company or a bank where the house is collateral. The other thing that it says is 3208, which now, it was a House bill, but now it's actually a law, and its effective date is September 1, 2023. The changes from not less than 90 days to not less than the full annual policy term, the required premium for a minimum retained premium in the TWIA plan of operation for cancellation of insurance coverage to be full annual policy term. So except under certain conditions. So let's just say you sold the house, obviously you get it back, but they're trying to figure out how much did we earn on it, and they're saying 90 days. So they have the right to anticipate. Remember, I told you this was a quasi-government agency. So what happens is people pay and it goes into a fund. But when there's not enough money in the fund, like for instance, when we had Harvey and it really hit the coast as a wind, the rest of us, it hit us mainly as water. You had businesses go down. You had like people who owned boat storage places. I mean, they probably were not underinsured, but if you had to pay out on every single thing on the coast, you can run out of money. So the government, our state government, what it will do is it will dip into another fund, but certain requirements have to be made. But anyway, so it only applies to a Texas windstorm and hail insurance policy that is delivered, issued for delivery, or renewed by TWIA on or after the bill's effective date, and it has to be on or after September 1, 2023. I hope that answered your questions. If not, go to TWIA.org and look through it. There's also a booklet on TWIA, and usually TWIA will insure for what the property is appraised at with the CAD, the County Appraisal District. And so therefore, I don't know if you can buy any more. A lot of people were underinsured because nobody wanted to complain to the CAD and say, hey, I'm not being taxed enough, right? So TWIA only had to match that. And so a lot of people found out in Harvey and maybe even Ike that they were underinsured because remember, other structures, your B is generally 10% of A. So if you inherited grandpa's house and y'all just kind of kept it in the family and you did some work on it, but everybody just kind of goes and visits it, well, it might be insured for $100,000. That means that in the other structure, so a garage not attached, because generally they're not attached. I mean, nothing underneath probably would be considered. It would be if it's got a garage door on it, but it would only be $10,000. So I had clients who were upset because their coverage on their garage was $40,000, but it was going to cost a lot more than $40,000. But there was nothing they could do. All they could really do at that point is go to the CAD, the County Appraisal District, and tell them, hey, my house is really worth more than that, and agree to back pay those premiums, which nobody was willing to do. And then later, TWIA kind of took it out of their hands and said, after everybody builds back, we're going to reappraise. And obviously, grandpa's $100,000 house is now a $300,000 house, and so therefore your premium is going to be based on $300,000 of coverage or $400, whatever TWIA says for the hail and wind. That's about it. If you have any questions, I'm Sharon Justice Black. My license number is 1949-752. You can reach me at www.ljcg-tx.com. That's my website, or Sharon at ljcg-tx.com. I am Lady Justice, as you can see my mural on the wall. Stay safe and be prepared.